You ever felt like you're on the edge of a breakthrough, but something inside you hesitates? Not because you don't want change, but because a part of you wonders, who will I be if I do? Now, we all talk about fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, but no one talks about this fear, the fear of losing yourself. Because when you truly change, when you step out of the version of you that's been safe, familiar, predictable, there is a moment when you realize you can't go back. And that can feel terrifying. Because even when growth is exactly what you want, it also means leaving behind the person you have been. And if that thought makes you hesitate, you are not alone. Today, we're diving into the hidden fear that keeps so many people stuck between ego and soul, the identity shift crisis, and how you can move through it without feeling lost, disconnected, or afraid. Hi, I'm Robin Plim, your transformational guide. I work with those who are ready to break free from old stuck patterns and embrace lasting change. As an author of Awake, Aware, Conscious, I've seen firsthand how powerful transformation can be when we align with our inner wisdom. In this video, I will share some insights both from my book and personal experience to help you begin your own journey of self-healing and growth. But first, let's talk about why your ego clings so tightly to who you've been, even when it's keeping you from the who you're meant to become. Now, your ego isn't just the voice of fear, it's the keeper of your identity. It holds the blueprint of who you believe yourself to be, your roles, your patterns, your story. And here's the thing, your ego doesn't care if that story is limiting you. It only cares that it's familiar. What's familiar is safe. What's unknown is a threat. So the moment you start growing, stepping into confidence, breaking old patterns, making different choices, your ego senses danger. Not because change is bad, but because it's different. And that is when the resistance kicks in. It starts whispering, are you sure you're ready for this? Who will I be if I let go of the old version of me? What if you lose yourself in the process? And without realizing it, you start pulling back, not because you don't want growth, but because you're afraid of what that growth might cost you. But here's the truth. You're not losing yourself. You're evolving into more of who you actually are. So then why does it feel like grief? Now, no one tells you that transformation comes with grief, because even when the old version of you was holding you back, it was still you. And letting go of that, even for something better, feels like a kind of loss. You might find yourself missing old habits, even if they weren't serving you. You might feel nostalgic for relationships, even if they were misaligned. You might feel unanchored, like you don't quite know who you are anymore. And that's completely normal, because transformation isn't just about stepping into the new, it's about releasing the old. And if you don't let yourself grieve, for a better term, the version of you that you're outgrowing, you'll keep holding on to pieces of it, even as you try moving forward. You have to recognize that there is a benefit for letting go of what's behind you, what's in your past, who you used to be. So thank them for their contribution, but you are ready to step forward. So how do you navigate this? How do you step into the next level without feeling like you're losing yourself in the process? Imagine your transformation like a bridge. On one side, you, as you've always known yourself to be. On the other, your highest, most aligned self. And in between, a space where you don't fully feel like the old you anymore, but you are not quite the new you yet either. This is where most people get stuck, because standing in that in-between space feels uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, the ego tempts you to turn back, to return to what's known. Here's the thing: you don't have to take a blind leap. You don't have to rush from one side to the other. You just have to take one step at a time. Now, here is a simple exercise to help you shift without any resistance. This is called the bridge exercise. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down one belief or habit that represents the old version of you. Pause if you need to. Now, ask yourself, what's one small way I can loosen my grip on this? Don't overthink it. What pops into your head? Doesn't have to be a big step. Remember, it's a small way. Every step counts, remember. Pause if you need to. Step 3 is take one aligned action. All right, something so small that your ego doesn't even notice the shift. Just something little, but it's something. All right, because transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in the tiny moments where you choose your future self over your past one. And each time you do it, the fear of losing yourself starts to fade, and the excitement of becoming who you were always meant to be takes its place. Now, there's one more layer to this. There's something else that happens when you change. It's not just you who notice it. The people in your life do too. And sometimes that's where the real resistance can come from. What if they don't understand the new you? What if they don't like the new you? What if they expect you to stay the same because that's what they know of you? What if stepping into your full power makes others uncomfortable? Now, this is where so many people get bogged down and stop in their transformation because other people hold them back, whether that's the belief of what other people will think or other people sabotaging your progress. Here's the truth: not everyone is meant to walk with you through every version of your life. Some people will grow with you. Some people will resist your growth, and some will fall away. And that is okay. That's their journey. It doesn't have to impact yours, because the people who truly belong in your next chapter, they won't be the ones who try and hold you back. They'll be the ones who celebrate your expansion. But how do you navigate this shift without the guilt? How do you keep growing even when others don't understand? And that is what we are going to dive into next, because transformation doesn't just change you, it changes the world around you. And if you're ready for that next step, I'll see you in the next video. So, who are you ready to become?